Hey, I'm Anji.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're
Lovespirals.
So welcome to our first episode of 2025.
Hell yeah.
I know we made that pinky promise that we were going to do an episode a month, but I mean, you pointed out that probably wasn't going to happen.
Hey, it's early March. We're pretty damn close.
I know. Today is March 2nd as we're recording.
As we're making it.
As we're recording. So, but we do have news, and I think that's what we were waiting for before we made this episode. We wanted solid news.
To do the thing and then make the podcast and talk about the thing.
Yeah. I think we might have alluded to the thing on our last episode of 2024. But anyways, the thing is, we have a new single out on digital services. It's actually a new version of a slightly older song.
Yeah, 2022, I believe, is when the call came out. And it was a song that was kind of, I felt like we didn't hit the mark of what I had in mind or we had in mind.
It happens.
Yeah, I mean, and since 2022, we've gotten better. Yeah, even though we're old, we're still learning new things. And I was able to finally finish the song correctly and give it. There's just a lot of dumb little problems that have just been nagging me all these years. So we addressed the problems and made the song even better.
I know. At a certain point in the process, I'm like, why are we doing this? Is anyone even going to notice or care? But the thing is, we notice. Yeah. And we care. So then we were stuck with, what do we call this new version of the call? Yeah. Yeah, so first I was just calling it 2025 mix or whatever, but that seemed kind of weak. Yeah. So I came upon this term VIP mix, which means variants in production. And it's generally used by producers that make a different mix of their own song, a lot of times as part of their DJ career, like drum and bass or EDM.
EDM type guys,
even though this isn't a drum and bass song, I think we can use.
We have the kind of mindset. We're very, even though our music doesn't sound very EDM, we use a lot of electronic music production techniques in our stuff.
I think people will be surprised by some of the techniques that were used to change some of the things about this song. But what do you think is the major difference in the VIP mix of the call?
Well, first of all, even without knowing any of the technical things, I think it's just a better mix. It's a better listening experience. The guitars are produced better. The vocals sit in the mix right. It just the mixes are all better. But the old mix is really sloppy too. There's lots of timing errors with the bass guitar and a few other things like that are completely fixed now.
Yeah, I think when you listen to them back to back, it's just the 2025 mix to me. It's more lush. Yeah, it's more immersive. The guitars are bigger and bolder, and the vocals are way more just sometimes when I'm laying down my tracks, I end up with so many layers that we just go we just strip it back. Let's just stick with this main vocal and a little bit of something. Yeah. But this time I went crazy. Let's get all those vocals I recorded in 2022 and just go to town. Let's figure out the place for all of them. So it was kind of it's just a redo.
For me, it went from a song I was kind of about now something I'm really proud of, and that's how you should be about all your songs. You should be really proud of them, not have regrets and stuff like that.
I know. Yeah. I have so many. When I look back over our 20-year history, I have so many regrets
on our early albums. Yeah.
If I could go back and remix every single album, I freaking would.
It's the curse of getting better and improving
I guess
and learning.
I know, because obviously part of what's going on with this new mix is new equipment. Yeah. The kinds of stuff that you did with your guitar, maybe you don't have those effects back then.
Yeah, and stuff we did with your vocals too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got cooler stuff now.
Yeah, so we're able to hit the intention we had. We just didn't have the gear and the skills yet, even with all our experience, to be able to get what we had in mind. I didn't realize what a complicated just project this song was. Yeah, but it's cool. Totally. I'm glad. I love it now because it's cool. When I listen to it, it's it's so 90s. It's a lot of the stuff I was into back when Lovespirals Downwards began. I think the one guitar panned on the right is I'm just ding. It sounds like cross between something like Robert Smith or The Cure would do with something that's more like a shoegazer kind of thing. And then another guitar pan left is this overdriven just wall with a lot of shitload of modulation distortion or
maybe
reverb.
one of the most shoegazer guitar sounds you've ever gotten, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know? I love the way it starts now too.
It has a new intro too,
Love it.
and has a new, the ending's even more refined now too. I like how the ending always kind of switches back to like maybe like the first Fleetwood Mac album with Lindsay and Stevie a little bit. Yeah. So it just kind of covers a lot of stuff. Shoegazer, Cure, Fleetwood Mac, and it's just us. It's just all those things that we love. You know? Yeah.
I have no idea what anyone would quantify my vocal genre as, but it's definitely a combination of like every genre that I've existed in over all these years I've been making music. Yeah. So. I was last night we were talking about this song and I was like, how did we get started on this new remix project?
Actually, because I have another remix or two that I've been working on that I started before this one, and then you did mention on the last podcast. I checked. Yeah, I didn't mention. I'm not gonna mention any songs yet, but then you're the one that threw the idea at me about the call, and right, you said that. I pondered it and like. Yeah, that one really, I think now we could really, like I said, do it justice. Yeah, and I was up for the challenge too to see if I was right. And are we gonna put out another album? Has been this looming question. Like, will we make a longer form collection of songs? And so I was sitting there listening to our last couple singles, and like, you know, we've been really kind of conscious of having the last 3 songs. You know, they sound good together. Yeah, and Numenon. Not Myself and Used to Be. Yeah. Even though they're all kind of different genres. Yeah. But there's something about the production and everything that holds it all together. Same with The Call now. Yes, now. Mm-hmm. But before I was like, well, obviously I'd want to put The Call on an album, and then you listen to it, I was like, it kind of doesn't sound the same. Drags them down a little bit. Now, even though it's a different genre, like the other 3 songs are, sonically somehow kind of all fits together. Yeah. And actually, talking about those, you know, the last 3 songs, even when you go back to like our cover Misunderstood on the Flux Deluxe, it flows pretty well with these, as does the remix we did of It Ain't Love. This Ain't Love by Electronica. I was just wondering, I should ask him if I could do a VIP remix for us. For us, yeah. Ooh, I think that would be enough times cool. Passed. He might be cool with that because that would fit in. Because I've said it before, maybe on this podcast. I know I've told Angie. I feel like that remix we did for Alan Electronico for Project Records, he had an album, and then he'd had other artists come and remix songs from that album, and I feel like that remix somehow, I've been on this roll ever since. I kind of like a lot of things just kind of clicked. And so I think I'd probably make that remix even better now too. I know. Yeah. Who knows? I was super proud of it then, and I still am. But yeah. Yeah. What year was that? Like 23? It was around late 22, early 20. We'll check it out. But I think back to the original point is are we going to make an album? Yes and no. No, and not like where you wait like 3 to 5 years and all of a sudden 9 or 10 songs come out of the blue and like, whoa, new song. No, but yes, in the sense, we're compiling enough songs together to put out either a long EP or an album, because I think that's the whole goal. Instead of letting all these songs exist solely as singles on the streaming music services, at some point, you said a lot of artists do this. I didn't invent anything. They'll put out, here's an album or an EP of all the songs that you've been listening to for the past bit. Or maybe it'll be like 1 or 2 that they hadn't heard yet. Yeah, exactly. To make it, to make it cool for them. Yeah. Will we print it to CD is the big question. Probably not. But if you guys really want it, let us know in the comments. I know. I really dread. We've never. The only time I've ever done like a fundraiser thing was when I did the Love Me Leave Me album under the Anji BM. Yeah. That was back when I had like a super dedicated music podcast and I was like talking to people all the time. We've really not wanted to do a fundraising thing for any Lovespirals or Lovespirals Downward for us, stuff. I guess. I mean, we just need to get over it. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, we're not good at asking for money, you guys. I think the bigger issue is like right now in 2025, CDs aren't really that important, We talked about this last episode. I said, I think like CDs are dead. And you're like, actually, I heard CDs are having a resurgence. Yeah, they're having a resurgence compared to where they were 5 years ago, which ain't saying much. I mean, everything's just, so much on digital, either streaming or download it off our Bandcamp if you want to own it and put on your iPod or something like that. Speaking of which, okay, so the new song, as you know, it's out. It came out Friday, the 28th of February. Yeah. So we put it up on Bandcamp on both Lovespirals and Lovespirals Downwards.
But then on Spotify
Apple Music,
Apple and all that
Tidal,
stuff, we told
everything.
you about how our distributor's been. So on all of those services, it's under Lovespirals Downwards.
Yeah, it's just too hard to have it on 2 feeds.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was looking at Spotify. Obviously, I before the show here, before I sat down, I wanted to see how it was doing. You know, it's only been the weekend that it's been out.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's had like, I don't know, 3,000 streams or something like that.
We're going to get paid because Spotify changed the rules last year to screw smaller artists.
Yeah,
like
if you don't get 1,000 streams, you don't get jack.
Does that suck? Like, you can keep making music all year, like a song every month, and if none of them hit 909 or go over 1,000, you're going to get $0 from Spotify. Not a penny.
So we're definitely going to get our little pennies for our streams. So, that, you know, that's early. But then I found myself looking at like demographics and stuff. It's so weird because, you know, your whole life, like, you didn't really know who the heck was listening to your music or, you know, what was going on.
Back in the Project days, I knew it was Project fans because I talked to them and met them and they wrote us letters.
Speak of the devil. So, so now I can look at like the demographics of the listeners.
Yeah.
And it turns out that only 6% of the listeners of all the Lovespirals Downwards material, not just this song.
Yeah.
Only 6% of them are in your age range.
Age range meaning
55 to 64. Which those are the Project Records fans.
Yeah,
your listeners are not on Spotify.
You go a little bit lower than that. I would say all Gen X, you know, basically.
Yeah.
Gen X goes, I think, starts around people around maybe 49 or 50 right now.
So let me see. So the Spotify demographics for the Lovespirals Downwards account are, 5% of listeners are 55 to 64 compared to 39% are in the 18 to 24 year old range and 38% in the 25 to 34 year old range. So these are people that are well outside of your original Project Records listening base.
Did we mention this last time? Basically, our music's finding a whole new generation. You hear about that. You'll watch like VH1 Behind the Music. They'll talk to like the Beach Boys or something. Like, we have a whole new generation listen to us. You know, it's not just people from the 60s and stuff. And we're old enough now to be able to say that. We have people who weren't even born yet, you know, when I put out all those 90s albums, you know, on Project Records. That's cool to have people that don't have those preconceived notions of what was going on back then. They're just hearing it anew, you know, and that's totally cool.
I actually saw Sam, the owner of Project Records, say the same thing, that you know, all these new kids are discovering Project and they were not around. They don't know Project Fest, they don't know Diddly Squat. So I found that kind of interesting. So that makes me worry less about the like band name, because I don't think the band name means anything to the people on Spotify, except for the 6%.
Yeah. But I mean, we can get all philosophical about that, but it's still me doing my thing.
Well,
you know?
I know. You doing your music continually since the late 80s.
I always been the songwriter, the producer.
I know.
It's
insane.
That, the musician.
I know. I was like, at the end of the day, isn't Ryan Lovespirals Downwards?
Yeah, we can.
Like how Sam is Black Tape for a Blue Girl.
You know, he's had different singers.
He's had so many singers.
Way more singers than I've had.
So many singers and so many musicians, and yet he always remains Black Tape for a Blue Girl. Or Black Tape, like you always ran Lovespirals Downwards or Lovespirals.
Down. Yeah, it's the same kind of thing.
You guys with your long ass project names.
We're the same thing in that regard. Yeah.
Speaking of which, speaking of old project artists. Soul Whirling Somewhere.
I still need to listen to that.
I know, I haven't listened to it either. But so Soul Whirling Somewhere is a guy named Michael Plaster.
And we love him.
Yeah.
Such a sweet dude.
I've even gotten to meet him and play with him when he was working in a band called Mr. Meeble. But so he just released a brand new thing, and he's not using the Soul Whirling Somewhere name or using Michael Plaster.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's some brand awareness there. But then, you know, like we said, everyone's new now listening to the music. But I don't know. Whatever, you know, artistic decisions are artistic decisions.
Yeah.
I doubt it was a legal one.
No, I doubt it was illegal.
He was the only guy in the band. So
exactly. Also, they literally just released the Soul Whirling Somewhere live set from Project Fest 1996 on Bandcamp.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we want to chat, Michael, if you're around, contact us.
Oh, I know. I still love his remixes that he did for us back in the day.
Oh, yeah, actually, you might hear a remix he did of one of our songs because it's on the back burner, but remastering Long Way From Home. And he did a This Truth remix. It's really cool, kind of orchestral and dream poppy. So anyway, I asked him, I wrote him last year when I asked him if it was cool if I used it. He was totally cool with it. It was just a quick little conversation. We didn't really get to catch up or anything.
He did 2 remixes for us. I'm trying to remember what the other one is. Was it Motherless Child?
It'll come
or
to
was
us.
it Walk Away?
It'll come to us when we hit stop on the recording.
I know. I could look at my
You can
phone.
insert it right now and show them.
Yeah. It's kind of funny you mentioned artistic decisions. I actually have a reader email.
All right, cool.
Yeah. It's a reader comment. I think last episode we were saying like, I remember the olden days when we used to get like comments on our website and like feedback on well, we got one. I can't believe it.
So if you guys want to leave some more, really, we see it and we're stoked.
I know. I was like, wow, this must be the first comment we've got on our website in like years.
On lovespirals.com.
Yeah. So I'll read it.
All right, please do.
All right. Let's see. So this is from Miguel. Dear friends, one question. Why does the song Numenon just end suddenly? As if it had been cut. I thought the song was fantastic, but I think it deserves a soft ending.
Artistic decision.
Artistic decisions.
Yeah, I mean, typically, when one of our songs or one of my productions ends, two ways they end. Usually, once in a while, I'll do a fade out.
True.
The most common way is it'll just kind of stop on a beat. And you'll hear the instruments and voice kind of decay and echo and reverb out. It's a really trademark thing. Cocteau Twins do that all the time. However, for Numenon, one thing I've been doing lately in my mix is I have all the basically the instrumental, if you will, everything but the vocals on a separate mix bus that I can control independently from the vocals. And for that song, it just was cool just to slam the bus straight off. And for some reason, you and I were both like, wow, that really hits. Yeah, it does on Numenon.
It's so gut bucket.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like you've got you're fully immersed, right? The song's going, there's all this like emotive mood swirling around you. And then we just pull the rug out from under you.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he felt that.
Yeah.
It created a visceral response.
Yeah.
To where he got up, went to his computer, and looked for our website and left that comment.
Yes, and thanks for leaving that because it shows it had an effect. Because it definitely had an effect on us, and if it had a similar kind of thing for you, it was that was kind of the intent. Yeah, it was 100% the intent.
I love it too because it's just like there's something so devastating about the way that song ends.
Yeah.
But right before the show, I double checked. Maybe some of you don't know, but there's a drum and bass remix of Numenon as well. And I checked the ending of that one.
It doesn't do that.
Nah, it's like a soft decaying, like Miguel would probably prefer.
Yeah, so you got both choices there, Miguel, and everyone to listen to. But the main mix of Numenon, that's just like one of our just most moody ass. I mean, we make moody music. I've always made moody music. That one's just so friggin' moody and just tugging with all sorts of emotions, and something about the ending just seemed like the perfect way to end that song.
Because I don't think you've ever ended a song quite like that.
No, it's a surprise.
So it really made an impression on me, and I personally wouldn't have it any other way. It's possible on the instrumental guitar focus mix that's right now is only on Bandcamp.
Yeah, I don't think I did that there either.
Yeah, I think that one's also got the softer ending.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, just part of like some of the I told you we've learned a lot over the past, like just even couple years. Strangely, this could be a whole nother episode. Just you wouldn't hear it too much in the music per se, but we've been listening to so much like Korean music.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, so there's some just really. Just a production that just blows my mind. Not every K-pop band, mind you, but it's like just like any genre. Some bands are gonna suck, some are gonna be awesome, But
and some songs it depends. Some of their songs are really cool, and the others just
for a band, But I'm saying we've just heard some just amazing production, just so much. Like it's been for me like an overwhelming thing. Like in the past, like I hear maybe a good song once every year or two, something like that, just one song, and I'm trying to milk it. I'm hearing new stuff like every week or at least every month, something that just blows my mind. And we've been just learning a lot from just analyzing, trying to learn what the hell they're doing. Yeah. On YouTube for a lot of the bands, they show them in the studio recording.
I loved it.
The vocalists, how they produce they don't show the production, they show the recording, the vocal recording production process, and
then you hear the feedback a lot of times from the director.
That's an interesting thing.
Another bandmate.
In K-pop, not necessarily all Korean music, not necessarily K-indie, but in K-pop there's someone who's like acts as a producer role. They call him the director, and they're literally communicating with the vocalist and giving commands and suggestions and
or encouragement.
Yeah, and encouragement.
Like I love in the Monsta X ones where Jew Honey is directing.
Yeah, he's one of the band members.
Great encouragement.
Yeah. So yeah, that's very kind of what's the word, instructional or informative when you and I watch those together.
Yeah, it's fun. It just gives you new ways to think about things.
Yeah, just because we know how we record and we know what it's like to like record songs and what the recording process is like, what you as a singer goes through, and it's cool to see other people do that and see how they handle all the
and how
issues.
They make the choices.
Yeah, this decision, all that stuff. We just discovered Monsta X last year.
Well, I mean, that's not true. I literally have had them on playlists going back to 2019.
Yeah.
I just didn't really. I never watched their music videos or any of the stuff that we're doing now.
Check out a song called Night View by Monsta X.
I don't know how I missed that one back when it came out.
Like, it could be my favorite song that I discovered last year. I think the song's from like 2021, I believe, but I just heard it last year, and I still listen to it like regularly, like at least once a week.
I like the song right after it too. I think it's called Carnival.
And the one that's been blowing my mind lately is what is it? Come to me the way you are. The letter U, the letter R. Yeah. Check those two songs out, Night View and You Are. You can see how talented the music producers are, how extremely talented all the vocalists, rappers are. I'm just jealous. When I hear the production on Night View, it's like,
I know, it's so good. So it's like a deep house kind of song.
Yeah, it's a really, something I would like. It's really atmospheric and moody.
More atmospheric than like soulful.
Than dancing your ass off.
But they're like, that's how they do a lot of like, they do a lot of spacey atmospheric things, but there's often a hint of soul.
Yeah. Yeah, we relate to them aesthetically a lot. Yeah. So check that out if you want to know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we do have a new song that we're working on pretty hard.
Yeah, it kind of reminds us of one of those Monsta X songs.
A little bit.
A little bit like You Are, but yeah. So yeah, we're just the music's pretty far along. We just started recording the vocals. We've kind of nailed the chorus out.
We totally nailed the chorus.
So now we got to go work on
the
verse and bridges. So we're working on it, just slow going, but it's coming along. So that'll probably be our first new song of 2025. We might get another remix done before then. We'll see how it all works out.
I remember we did a heavy vocal session on my birthday, February 2nd, and I think we did some mixing and some other stuff on like Valentine's Day.
Yeah, producing.
We haven't really touched it since.
Yeah.
But you've been like messing around, changing some things in the studio all week. So.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Got you new headphones to track in. I noticed a lot of the K-pop bands are using these Sony headphones that I've been curious about.
We already have the same mic that we already had the same mic.
Yeah,
a lot of them use.
Yeah. So I figured. I was never satisfied with your headphones that you used to record in. I mean, they're really well respected, but for me, for tracking, they're just missing a lot of the low mids. So it just sounds kind of thin. And you don't feel like you're fully in the mix. And like, okay, if all these K-poppers are using the Sony MDR7506s, let's give it a shot. They're not that expensive, and you haven't had a chance to check them out yet. But I've been screwing around with them, and I think you're gonna love them.
I just remember we had such an OG experience. We drove
to Guitar
Center to get
them. It felt so 90s.
I know, it's funny.
It's like, okay, I can order them online from somewhere, or you just drive up the street and go to Guitar Center and go get some Indian food after.
We did get some delicious Indian food afterwards, which was also very 90s of you.
Yeah, that was inspired the first LSD album. Yeah,
so funny.
Indian food, not Guitar Center.
Come on, probably
a little bit of both. You're right. Yeah, okay, that was like my sole 100% source of music gear back then, basically.
Totally. Oh, so funny. The 90s.
The good old days of buying stuff at Guitar Center West Covina and Guitar Center Hollywood.
Oh, those are the ones you went to? Yeah. I went to the Hollywood one with you a couple of times. Oh, yeah.
We lived out not too far from there.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's the bulk of what we have to talk about this time. There's always little things here and there. I think last time we talked to them, I was getting the Temporal album re-upped so that it had all the correct information.
And it does now.
It has it all now. That's over. It's got like a more robust looking artwork, yada yada.
I was going to say, thinking about Miguel. If any guys have any questions for us, now's a great time. I mean, not exactly now. We're not communicating in real time, but you know what I'm saying. Just drop us a comment or question, and we'll probably answer it since we're not being exactly flooded and overwhelmed with questions right now.
No, exactly. You will get that one-on-one time with us right here. Yeah, so thanks so much for taking the time to either watch or listen to this show. It's on YouTube as a video, but it's also on all the major podcasting services now as an audio show as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or you can watch it directly from our website. I think right now I'm only posting this to lovespirals.com, not lovespiralsdownwards.com, which is another one of those crazy things. Like, can't we just have everything in one place finally? Jeez.
I think if you... use YouTube Music for your podcast, you get the option of audio and video. Yeah, because I've been using that app now on my spare Android phone, just kind of screwing around, seeing how it works.
I think I might have tried uploading one of these videos onto our TikTok, but that's like, TikTok. You know?
Yeah.
Do we really need like 50? How old are we now?
We're Gen X, you know? We're Gen X, you know?
I know. I just can't. Anyways, but in it, however you're consuming this media, we really thank you for taking the time, and hope that you'll continue to subscribe to hear more from Lovespirals.
And comment if you really want us to do more on TikTok.
Oh my goodness, if you really want it. There won't be any dance challenges, unfortunately. But...
I'll try.
So, what's your favorite part of the new remix? Maybe we can take them out with a clip that starts from that point. You're like, oh, my solo.
Let's start off with the second chorus that leads into my glorious solo.
Such a Leo.
I
know, I love the solo.
It's just a rad solo. The sound is totally rad. I'm extremely proud of how it came out. In fact, I should mention now, I actually re-recorded the solo for this remix.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's possible I might have left some of the older versions of the solo down low in the mix. I can't remember, but it's one part of it. It's a whole new part of the song I did.
All right. Very nice. Cool. All right, so that's what we'll do. I hope you enjoy it.